Hey, what's up guys, welcome to my Flutter and Dart tutorials, and this video is mostly focused on Dart, not Flutter. So because we have done a lot of work in Flutter, and because you also want to get the same momentum in Dart, so that is why I am making this video. And this is not going to be a very basic video, this is rather going to be an advanced one. So now here we will talk about something called LINQ. So if you're not familiar with LINQ, so let me just give you a little bit summary of that. So basically LINQ is something which is available in C#. So because I have worked for like more than 1 year in C#, and if you will ask any C# developer that what is the most lovely thing you know about C#, then probably his answer would be LINQ. So let me just write what I am talking about. So this is LINQ. So LINQ is basically, if you will ask me the what's the full form, so LINQ is basically language integrated query. So let me just also write it here. Okay, so it is this language integrated query. Okay, so if you are familiar with something like SQL or SQLite, so you might understand that there is a query which you need to write. Then you have a table, which is a kind of a collection from where you fetch some data, which is the required one, and there you can also have some clause like where clause or something like that, and then you can use some grouping and you can fetch the data. So similar thing you can do in C# with the code, like you have a list or a collection which you can just think about like a table in the database, and from there you can apply some clauses on that, and then you can get some result, which is kind of very difficult to achieve if you will do using for loops and other loops. So that is the idea. And in Flutter, or sorry, in Dart, we have something called you can say functional collection. Okay, so I don't know if they call it something else, but as far as I know, this is functional collection. So this is similar to LINQ, and because what I feel is like Dart is very much inspired from C#, so every other cool feature which is available in C# is also available in Dart, and even more than that. So that is why I love Dart as well, because if you are doing Flutter, then you don't have any choice other than using Dart. So there's a confusion between all of the people, like why to choose Dart. Because if you talk about a statistical type language, then I feel that Dart is one of the best, because it has some features from those languages like C# and then some from Java and something like that, and all after combining all of those, it becomes a very good language. And many of you might not be aware of the fact that Dart is in existence from around 7 to 8 years, and because of that maturity, because of that overall, like there are companies which are using Dart from around 4 to 5 years, and there are a lot of individual developers also working on Dart. And Google itself has earlier they were working on their internal projects which were written on Dart. So Dart is kind of matured enough, and after Dart 2, which is about to release its like stable version, so it has again some more features. So let's talk about LINQ. So how we can use it. So if I say LINQ, then it's or even functional collection, then both are the same thing. So here, so in LINQ you have some kind of operators with which you deal. Okay, so let's take this example and let's start our journey with LINQ and see how much it can help you while writing applications. Okay, so it can be any command line application or Angular, Dart, or Flutter, anything. So let's see, this is an example. Here we have a list where we have some numbers from 0 to 9, or even 11 is there. Okay, so let me just okay, so if you want, you can change it. So now it is 0 to 9, and now let's say I tell you that you have to pick numbers from those numbers which are greater than 5. So what you will do, so if you are a beginner, probably you will do something like a for loop. So what you can do here, you will say I have a variable x, okay, and then you will say, let me just Okay, so you will say in numbers I want to fetch the x, which like in numbers I want to access one by one using this for each loop. And then what I will do, I will check if the x is greater than 5. If it is, then I will print the value of x, and that is good. Okay, I got it. Now if I will run this application, then in the output we can see we have the output 7986, which is greater than 5. That is fine, but this can be done easily with LINQ using restriction operators. And when I say LINQ again, then it is a functional collection in Dart. So if I have to do this with LINQ, let's see how we will do this. And again, this is a very simple example. Okay, so you might not see that much of flexibility, but again, when we will dive into some more complex example, then you will see the benefits of it and what are the advantages. Okay, so let's just leave this code here. Okay, or we can just delete this for the time being, or let's just comment it. Okay, so let's comment it, and now I'll show you an example using this where operator. Okay, so these are some restriction operators. Okay, so you can say that. So what do I mean by restriction is like a restriction operator is like they provide some kind of restriction on the collection. Like there is a restriction of like the x's value should be greater than 5, so that is a kind of restriction. So that is what we will use. So what we can say here, we will take another results. Okay, these results we will arrive from using this numbers dot where. Okay, so now if you will see, we have this where, and if I will hover here, then you will see probably that it will return a boolean. So it will go through all these numbers and it will check whether this number, which is the n, and then we will use this shorthand operator to it will return the number which after the check. So here we will have the check so that n should be greater than 5. So what is happening here, it will checking the number for each number. It is checking if this n, which is the number in the numbers, so first of all it is like 3, and it will check if 3 is greater than 5, then it will return true or false. If it is true, then it will put it into this result, otherwise it will not, and then that's it. Okay, now what I can do, I can print this results. Okay, so what I can do, I can say results dot for each. Okay, and now I can say here directly print. Okay, and now if I will run this, then you will see output is exactly the same, 7986. But if you compare the code, then you can see first of all we have less line of code. In this example, I mean it can be you can do it in one line as well, but this is not about this example only. We will talk about more complex example as well. But as you see, first of all, it will definitely reduce your lines of code. Second thing, see the code, how much clean the code is. Okay, so if you see here, this is just a 2 line of code, but it is very much clean, and you don't have to maintain those loops and all. So this is the idea, and this is how you can use it. Okay, so this is one of the thing. Let's move to something more than this. Okay, and we can say where example 1. Now I am just removing this part of code. Now let me just show you, I have one more class, which is this one more Dart file, where we have a class customer, where we have the customer have a ID and a customer name, age, area, and he has some orders also as well. Okay, then we have a constructor. Again, this is optional constructor with the named of optional constructor, you can say. And then we are overriding this to a string so that we don't get that instance of class thing. Rather, we want to get some string out of it. So we are passing the customer ID with age and everything. So again, now this orders, this list of orders comes from this order class, where we have a order ID, we have an we have order total, like how much money total is for this particular order, and then we have an order date, then when the order was placed. Okay, and then again we have the constructor and this toString method. And after that, you can see we have this customers, and here we have some mock data. So we have some, I guess, 6 to 7 customers, where for each customer we have 3 orders. So as you can see, let me just show you. So first customer is like now me myself, Pawan. there's some random age, then random area Delhi, and then orders. This has some random order ID. You can use anything. I am just trying to explain it, so that is why this is something here. And then we have order total, order date, and then we have order ID, order total, order date. So similarly we have orders, and similarly we have 7 to 8 customers. So now let's go back here, and first of all let's import that particular class. You can say the particular file, that there are more than one class. So what we can say package colon dot code slash customers dot dart. Now we have the customers. Now this is where example 1, and let me just also write restriction operator. Sorry for the a little bit background noise if that is coming. I'm shooting at home. So okay, so this is what we have as of now. Now we have these customers, and let's try to do this same thing with the customer. So what we can do, we can access the customers, and first of all let's print what we are getting out of it. Okay, so we can say for each, and then print. And because we are overriding two strings, so it won't give us that instance of customer and blah blah. So if I will just run it, you can see we have a result, and we have first of all these all numbers, results dot for each and everything. And after that we have this customer. So it might be confusing, so let me just comment this line. Okay, and now we will run this. So now you can see we have only customers information. So we have ID ranges from 1 to 9 again, which is random, and then we have all the customer details with name, age, area, and their orders. And everyone has 3 orders, so you can change it if you want. The code will be available on GitHub. So this is how it will look like. And yeah, so now let's say, if you will see here, we have some ages here and we have some IDs here. Now we have learned about where operator, where what we were doing, we were checking for if n is greater than 5. Let's say we want to do the same thing here. Okay, so rather than customers, we can say where result. Okay, and here we can say customers dot where. Okay, where, and now it will give us this customer, and we will check if customer's age is greater than 20. Okay, if it is greater than 20, then we want in the this where result. Okay, and now rather than customers, we will write it a where result. And now let's run this application and let's see what output we get. So you can see we got like out of 7 we got 6 results where everyone has an age greater than 20. Okay, now let's change the symbol to less than 20, and let's see if we get the other one. So here you can see we have only one customer whose age is less than 18 or less than 20, and it is age 18. And this is how you can use it. So just think about it. If the same code you have to write using for loops, then again that will be a little bit hectic as well and hard to maintain. You can say less cleaner, and that is the beauty. Okay, so this is one thing. Now this is not like you can only apply one operation here. Let's say if we want the ID also should be greater than 5, okay, or less than 5 in this case. So let's make it greater than 20, because we have more results if the age is greater than 20. Now we just want to fetch the results who have ID. Let's say c.id should be less than 3 or less than 5. Okay, so now we have two operations here. One is checking the age, and second is checking the ID using this AND operator. Okay, so now if I will run this code, then you can see the result is now much more minimized, and we have now 3 customers only who have the ID, as you can see, 1, 3 and 4, which is less than 5, and the age is 30, 25 and 37, which is greater than 20. So this is how you can perform operation. Now here you could use OR operator as well, which will check age should be greater than 20 or ID should be less than 5, any of that. So if we will run this, then you can see we have all the results, because either their age is greater than 20 or their ID is less than 5. So that's how you can use this. You can say what I was saying, it restriction operator. Okay, so this is how you can use it. See, okay, so that's one part. Okay, similarly you can have something called projection operator. Okay, so we will use this customers example only, so that you can easily understand it. So let me just um, do a little bit here. I am just commenting the print statements. Okay, so now let's talk about the um, projection operators. Okay, so let's say you have this customer. Okay, let's say I have this proj result. Okay, now let's say I have these customers, but I want to select only those people, only, or not select only those people. Let's say I just want the customer's name only. Okay, I don't want anything else. I want to select customers and I just want their name. Okay, so what you will do, so you will again make a loop, then out of those that particular list you will fetch the name and then you will print that. Okay, that's one thing. But using this LINQ or this projection operator, how you can use it, so we have something called map. Okay, so map, what it will do, it will select that particular customer. Okay, so let's say we have this customers list and we will use map. Okay, what it will do, it will select that particular customer, let's say it is C, and it will ask for C dot customer name. Okay, that's it. So what it is doing here, it is checking the customers, going to the customers, and it is saying dot map, which means select this customer C, and asking it for its customer name. That's fine. And now we can use this proj result dot for each, because it is again a list. That is why we are able to use for each. And now we will print this particular result. Okay, now if I will run this code, because previous print statements are commented, so we will start from this point. And now if I will run this, you can see we have all the customers name: Pawan, Monty, Barry, Stephen, Cisco, Martin, Joseph. Let's say we want to change this and we want only the orders. Okay, let's just run it, and you will see we have all the orders. Okay, so this is how you can use this select statement. Okay, let's say now in case we have their ID as well. Okay, so let's get the ID as well, and you can see we have all the IDs 5127349, but you want to also do some operation on that. Okay, you are saying I want the ID, but I guess IDs are not in that proper, because what happened, you wanted to count it from 0, but unfortunately it is from 1. Okay, but you wanted it from 0. So what you can say, you want to reduce 1 from each of those IDs. Okay, so you want to select all the customers. Now their ID is already 1 more than what you wanted it to be. So if it is 1, you wanted it to be 0. So what you can do here, c.id minus 1. Okay, you will write this particular thing, and now if we will run it, then you can see we have 4016238, and that means 0 to 8. Okay, so here also you can perform operations. So it is totally your choice what you want to achieve, and then you are good to go. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, now you can do many much more things, like let's say here you have this customer name, but you want those customer name to be uppercase. So you could directly say dot to uppercase, and whatever you can do on a string you can do here. And now if I will run it, then you can see all the results are in uppercase. Okay, now let's say you want to fetch two data. First is the name, and second one is, let's say you want their age as well. Okay, so one thing is that so using for loops, it could be something difficult to do, but when you are doing this mapping or selection or projection operators, and let me just write here select as well, so that it can be easy to understand. Okay, so now rather than doing this, what I could say, I can use this curly braces. This is how we make map. Okay, now I will give it a key, let's say name. Okay, and then we can say c dot customer name, that is fine. And then what we can say, we will put a comma here, and then we can say age, and then we can say c dot age. Okay, and now if I will run this, then you will see we have name Pawan age 22, name Monty age 30, and similarly. Okay, now let's say you want to print something like my name is this and my age is this, then how you will print it? So again, this can be very tough, but using this for each here itself, because this for each will give you each customer, so you can access that particular customer using the C. And again, you can also write here customer if you want it to write like this, so just for your understanding, otherwise you can leave it like just as a parameter. So here what I could say, let's put the uh, let's say my name is, okay, and I could access this C. Okay, this C here, and I'm using this string interpolation, so if you don't know about that, then you should know about it. And now I will give it a key which I have used, so I have used name key, so this is how we can use it. Okay, and then my name is this, and my age is, again we will use the same thing, and here we can say C and then age. Yeah, and now if I will run it, you can see, okay, nothing actually happened. Why? Okay, because we forgot to use print here. Okay, so that is why nothing happened, and now we will just use print here. Okay, now we are good to go. Now let's just run it, and you can see my name is Pawan and my age is 22, my name is Monty and my age is 30, and similarly you can see all the results. Okay, so this is again one more use case here which you can use. So this is like how you will manipulate it, and you can see the lines of code, just 3 lines of code, and we done almost a very hectic task it could be. So this is the beauty of LINQ, or you can say these operators or functional collections. So whatever you want to say, that's not the problem. The problem is how we want to achieve a particular thing. Okay, so this is one thing, and now let's say we want to what else we would like to have. Okay, so we got this. Okay, now let's say I want here to also say that I want the name and age, but I just want those person whose age is less than 20. Okay, so if we will see this result, then we have only one person whose age is less than 20, that is Barry. His age is 18. So before map we can also use this where. Okay, so we can use more than one operations here, so that's not a problem. And similarly here in the where clause, we could say c dot age should be less than 20. Okay, like we did it earlier. Now if I will run this, you can see we have only one result. My name is Barry and my age is 18. Okay, this is that simple. If you want to apply one more thing here, then you can apply again one more where clause, then you can apply. So it's totally your choice how much time you want to do some operations, and however you want you can do it. Okay, so this is again one thing. Now let's say, okay, so this is this is a very simple thing where you have a list and you are doing some operations. Okay, now let's go to again a second projection operator. Okay, projection operator. Okay, now let's say if you have to select many of them. Okay, so what actually select many means, you can also say compound. So what that means, so if let's say For every customer you have some orders. That means if you will take a list of customers, then inside every list there are again a list which is of orders. Okay, so there is basically nesting of lists. So for working with them, this can be very difficult. Just imagine if you are writing for loops, and if you are writing any other loop like while loop, anything, then just think about it, how much messy it will be, how much you won't able to understand the particular code. And let's say you can understand it, but again the other team members cannot understand that. So there again something comes, which is, let's say, now let's just make it, let's just comment this part again, and now we can say projection result 2, let's say, and now we will fetch the customers. Now I want to fetch their order. Okay, so if you remember, you can use map and you can fetch their order. Okay, but let's say you want to perform some operation on that, then it might be very difficult. And let's say if you don't have that access to this toString method, then it won't print anything. Okay, so here you get something called expand. Okay, so what this expand will do, this will select many items. Okay, which means items inside items. Okay, list of items basically. So in the customers list, it will check if you want to use an expand, which will also give you a list. Okay, so what kind of list it will give? So here we will access the customer and I will ask for its orders. Okay, so this is a list. So if I will just put a semicolon, it will work. Now let's just make it to age. Okay, and then you can see the error, because it is expecting an iterable, but this age, because that is just an integer, it is not returning us a list. So this expand will not work with it. So that means we can only use something which is an iterable, and that is our orders. Okay, so what we are saying, we are asking for the customers. For each customer we are asking for their orders. Okay, that means now we have their order. Now for this particular customer C, we have his order, and now we are saying him that, hey, I have your order, and from this order I just want those orders whose order total, which means the money, is let's say greater than 2000. Okay, that's it. And now that's fine. And now I want to I will use this pros result 2, and then I just want to print this result. Okay, so what is happening here, it is asking the customers that, hey, first customer, give me your orders, and then it is checking where his order total is greater than 2000 or not. Okay, and those order totals which are greater than 2000, he wants to print them. And now if I will run this, so if he has 3 orders, and you can see we have a lot of customers, and for every customer we have this much order whose order total is greater than 2000, and you can see every order here for each customer have value more than 2000. That is how what you can achieve with this. Okay, if it was about a single customer, then we could use something else, but for multiple customers we want to fetch the data of each customer whose order is and every order which is greater than 2000. So just think about it, and if you will use a list, then how much complicated it can be. And this is something which you can easily do with this projection operator, which is the select many or expand. Okay, now let's say we have this order and we have the output. Okay, but now you are saying that I just don't want this. Okay, I just want this order. Okay, here again we are using map, which means select. What you want to select? You want to select just the order total. Okay, I don't want the ID, I don't want the date, I just want the order total. And now if I will run this, you will see in the output we have all the order totals. So these are all the transactions which has been done for every customer which is greater than 2000. Okay, so this is how you can use this link. And this, see the lines of code, just 4 lines of code, and that is also very small, and you have the result. just think about it, how hard it can be if you will use for loops and blah blah blah. So that is the beauty. So now I guess you are little bit familiar with this, you understood what I meant to say. So this is one thing. Now let's say if you want to say um, rather than returning order total, it was fine to let's say return the orders, but now um, you also want that let's say here we could allow that you also want to check if those customers, okay, those customers ID is also greater than, let's say, 5, okay, then again we will have some more narrowed result where the ID, the every customer's ID should be first of all greater than 5. If it is 5, then it will check their orders, and then it will find out if all of those orders which have the value greater than 2000. Now let's run this, and as of now we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 results. Now it should narrow down it to let's see how many, 2 results. Okay, so now these are 2 orders who of those customers who have ID greater than 5, and then their orders are of value greater than 2000. So one is the 2300 and another one is order total is 5000. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, you got it, and that is pretty amazing. Okay, now let's say some of your customers came, and now he says he just don't want the order total. Okay, he also wants to know the customer name. Okay, so you are here on the total portion, but he's saying no, I just don't know the order. I just want the order total with the name of the customer. Okay, so what you could do here, so here let's say we just want the order total. Okay, so let's just run this. Okay, what's happened? Okay, this is a where clause, so rather than where, we just map it, and just we want the order total. So now if I will run it, so we have around 1 2 3 4 5 6 orders, but I don't know who are the customers who made this transaction. So you want the customer name as well, and then you want the order value. Okay, so what you could do here, rather than using this order total, you could again use a map here, and you could say, let's say name. Okay, now you can use this particular C, okay, which is still available to us, not available, let's say we have that C again. Oh sorry, because we have same names we are using, so maybe that's confusing. So let's make it CU, okay, rather than C, and now we can use this CU, I guess. Now we cannot. What is happening? Okay, let me just see. Okay, we have expand. Okay, so we have actually orders, okay, which we got the orders. Now CU should be available here, I guess. Why it is not available, I have to think about it. Let's say, let's try it. Okay, so it is not giving us this CU. Why it is happening, I don't know. We have this, we have the CU order, we have the customers. Okay, let's try this. So basically we have this CU, let's say, and then we just want to use the customer name. Okay, and as it is saying that CU is not accessible here, I don't know why this is happening, because we should have the access to this particular customer. Okay, why? Okay, so dot expand is there, everything's there. Okay, so that there might be an issue with that. Let's just okay, so rather than this CU, what we could use, so basically we have access to only orders here, so we could say order ID, and then we can say O dot order ID. Okay, and then we can have order, and we should just write ID and total. Okay, so now let's just print the ID and total. You got the idea how to use these things. So now if we will just run it, then you can see we have the ID and the total. So these are the ID of order, and from this ID again we can fetch the customer information. And I'm just wondering why this um, CU didn't work. I thought that it should work. Okay, so this is one thing. So this is how you can use it. And now let's talk about something else. What else we can think about? Okay, so this is one thing. Now let's say you want the orders from a particular date. Okay, let's say you are asking. Let me just do one thing. Let's just remove this particular portion of code because we actually don't need it now. Okay, and um, now let's remove this portion of code as well. Okay, now let's say, and or what we can do, we can make something again so that we just don't lose this. So let me just copy this. Okay, let me just comment this particular code. Okay, now let's make another project, result 3, and then we can apply some more operations here. Okay, so now we have customers, we have their orders. Now what I just want those orders. Let me just write dot where. So we have this order. Now I want to check all these orders which came after 2017 or 1st Jan of 2017. After that, whatever order has came, I just want that. So what I can say here, o dot order date dot is after, and then I can say here date time, and then I can specify here the year. So if it is 2017, then by default it will take the month as 1 and day as 1. So that means 1st of January 2017. And now I want all the orders which came after this. So if I will run this command, now you will see that we have this much orders. Okay, so for every order you will see order date is 2017 or 18. Okay, that means, and let's say if you want before this, or let's say we want before this. Now if we will run it, then you can see we have all the orders which are either of 2015 or 16 but not of 2017 or 18. So this is one more thing which you can do here, and this can be again very beneficial. Okay, because now you have access to the particular order, and you can also check whether this order date is correct or not. So you can do so much operations here itself. Okay, so that is again one more good thing. Okay, so again let me just see what else we can do here. So you can again here write some maps. Okay, if you want to write any map here. Okay, so you could use something like this. Okay, so and what if I use this? Okay, not good. Okay, so what we this is one thing. Now here in the map you could use something like, let's say you want the ID of order, so you could say something like, okay, so this is the where clause we just don't want here. Okay, so after this where clause or after this expand, you could say map, okay, this particular order where now here let me just try to see if we get access. No. Okay, so now here you could say you want only, let's say order dot order ID or order custom order total or order date. So you could just access that particular thing. Okay, now if we okay, so now if we will run this, and then you can see we don't have to specify in the where that what particular thing we want, because we are just getting order date, and then now we are checking if that order date is before 2017. So now if I will run it, then you can see we have all the results, and these are only the dates. Okay, so this is how you can use this. You can do the nesting as well inside it. Okay, so and now let's say I have this, and let's remove this part of code. Okay, now okay, can't we get this particular thing out of it? Okay, I don't know. So this is what we have as of now. So these are called projections. Okay, so after that projection, we can also, here you can do multiple things like whatever you want, but this is totally your choice. You can experiment with it. You can do as many operations as you want. I just want to see whether we are able to use the this CU here or not, because as far as I know, when we were dealing with C sharp, we could use this CU even further. So let's say if I have the orders of all of these, then when I am mapping this order, let's say I have this order, then I should have access to this particular CU, because otherwise it won't be, I won't be able to use anything. Okay, so let's just make it a C, and let's try to access that. So here it is quite, I guess, I don't know if I'm missing something, but we should have access to this particular C. This is what I feel, and I don't know, maybe there is some other issues, but I guess we should have the access of this particular C. I don't know why we won't have that, and let's try here. Okay, so maybe because let's say if it is to list, okay, then we try to map, and then we get something after it. Okay, so we are not getting the access to this particular C, even we are inside here. So if we talk about here, then also we don't have any access to C. Why is that? Okay, I don't know. Okay, now if we will just do the mapping here, then I guess we will have access to this C. Okay, yeah, so here we have the access to C. So what we were doing wrong is we were using one more extra parenthesis here, and that is why I guess it kind of got confused. So now let's say you want the order total with their customer name. Okay, so let's say you want to map um, all the order, let's say you want the customer name, so let's say name, and the customer name, so we can say c dot customer name. Okay, and now you also want their order total, so we can say a total. Okay, and then we can use this O. Now we have this order total here. Okay, and yeah, okay, we missed one more parenthesis. Yeah, that's it. Now if I will run this, then you will see we have the name of that particular customer with their total. Okay, now if you want, you can perform some more operation on this particular thing, like you could use their, let's say if the order is let's say order is greater than, let's say 3000. Okay, and then you could use this map. Okay, order total. Okay, now if I will run this, then you will see all those entries where my the name of the customer is Monty, who has spent more than 3000 in any of their order. So these are all those customers who have spent more than 3000 in any of their order. So Monty is there, Stephen is there, who have spent more than even 4000. So let's say if we make this 4500, which means 4500, then there will be only one person, I guess, Stephen, who have spent 5000 rupees. Okay, and if you want their date as well, then you can also, yeah, here write their date. Okay, so you can access from O will give you order date, and if you want any customer detail, then C will give you the customer detail. Okay, okay, so yeah, I was a little bit confused about this like I was using an extra parenthesis, so that is what the problem came. Now if we will run it, you can see we have the date as well. Okay, so this is how you will use this select menu, and you can again go with more nesting. That's not an issue. So this is one thing. Okay, now we have something called, let's say we just make it 2000. Okay, now if I will run it, then we have around 6 results here, 6 to 7 results. Now let's say you just want to take first two. Okay, you don't care about others. Then what you could do, you could directly use here take, and here you can give it a count. So let's say I just want to take first 3, so I will say 3, and now if I will run it, then you can see we have only the first 3 results. You don't have to use any break, continue, anything. We can just use this take and we will get it. Okay, now let's just remove this particular code, and yeah, let's run it again, and now we have again all the results. Now let's say I want to skip the first 3 and I want the last ones. Apart from first 3, I want all. So what I could say, I could use this skip, and we could say here skip first 3 and then give me result. So it should give me result from Stephen, Cisco, Martin. Okay, so let's run this, and you can see Stephen, Cisco, Martin. So this is how you can use it. And again, there is something also called as take while, which means uh, till that point you will take all the elements where this condition satisfies. Okay, so here we could say t. Okay, and we could check for something if you want. Okay, so you can see we have a lot of things available here for this take. Okay, so this is your choice. Okay, so you could do anything. You can you can perform operations here, like suppose you want to perform something. Let's say we don't have anything here, right? We have a custom map here. That is why let's say we don't have this map. Let's just forget it for a moment. Okay, let's do one thing rather than, okay, let's just do 3. Okay, what I am going to do, I'm just copying this particular thing from here and then pasting it here. Okay, so that we can have more operations here. Okay, so now rather than doing this particular thing, one more thing which I guess I missed on these particular projections. Operators are called partitioning operators, where we partition the code. Okay, so let me just write partitioning. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here we have a project result folder, and rather than using this map and this everything here, we could just say order dot, let's say order total. Okay, and now I just want those orders. Let's run this first of all. Let's just delete this particular portion of code, and let's run this code, and we will see we have all the orders. Now we just want the order which are more than 4000. So one thing is you can use the where clause, but you can also use here the take while clause. Okay, what it will do, it will give you a t, which will be to check, and now you can check if t is more than 4000. And now if I will run this code, then you can see we will get, okay, we don't get any result. Either we don't have anything which is more than 4000. Okay, let's try it. Okay, we have some results more than 4000. What actually happened? Okay, so what it will do, so take while, what it will do, it will go to the first result. Okay, it will take it if it is greater than 4000, otherwise it will drop it. So in our case, I guess we are doing something wrong. Okay, yeah, we are actually playing with the customers here, and oh, this is what we are getting the orders here. So we could make here, we could here say take while. Okay, because we cannot say there, because we don't have access to this particular thing here. Now if I will say here 4000, now it will work because we are inside this. And yeah, so we have two results. But when we are outside of it, which means now we are into the hand of this particular expand or this customers. Okay, so now we have orders only. So that is the trick. So this is how you can use take while. You can use something called escape while. You can use escape. So that's the main idea. Okay, so yeah, I guess this is fine, right? And now you can also see what else you can use. So here you can say we have a lot of options available, right? We have something called every, each, first, single, and blah blah blah. So if we say, yeah, so we have a lot of options available for this what we say partitioning operators. Okay, now apart from that, we have some um, ordering operators as well, but we have to write custom code for that, so I'm not going into deep. But if you want, I can cover that in maybe some next video. Okay, now let's talk about something more than this. So we have two more things which we will discuss in some other video, which are grouping, or we can say something like um, ordering. Okay, so now let's talk about set operators as well. Okay, so we have one more thing. So we have a lot more things again. So let's talk about this set operators. So if you have a little bit idea of mathematics, then it can be very beneficial. So let's just take this example. We have these numbers which is 0 to 9. Okay, so let's make one more set of numbers. Okay, and numbers 2, let's say. And now we have some numbers, let's say 1 1 2 2 3 3 3 3. Okay, and now let you just let you came to me and you just want these numbers which are unique out of it. Okay, then you can use sets here. Okay, so how will you use it? You will say I want a results res1, let's say, and you will ask the numbers 2 dot for each, not for each, sorry, numbers dot to set. Okay, you will convert it to a set. So set is a collection of unique elements. Okay, now you can use this res1. Okay, one second, dot for each, you can print these numbers. Okay, and now if I will run it, you can see the output is 1 2 3 only, because we have repeated ones, twos and threes. What it will do, to set will only do the positive ones. Okay, now let's say we have another numbers 3. Okay, here we have 1 4 2 5 7 8 and 9. Okay, now let's say you want to do something like, say, numbers 2 dot to set. Okay, dot union. Okay, you want to take the union as well. Okay, what union will do, it will join this. Okay, so now what we can say here, numbers 3 dot to set. Okay, so now if I will run this, you will see result is 1 2 3 4 5 7 8 9, because we don't have any 6. So what it does is, like, it will join this both and it will find the unique numbers out of both these lists. And let's say if you want the intersection, which means the difference, which means the common elements, then you can use the intersection. And now if I will run this, you can see we have 1 2. So this is the only two numbers, these are the only two numbers which are available in both the list. So it has 1 and it has 1 and 2, and it has 1 and 2. So this is how you can use test. There is again few more operators which you can use here, which are like except and one or more, I don't know. So these are again some operators you can use. Okay, so this is one thing. Now let's go back again here to this projection. And here we can also talk about element operators. Okay, so I know there are a lot of operators. So what, let's just copy this code again, paste it here. Now let's make it 5. Let's just uncomment it. Now let's say you have all the customers. Okay, you do the mapping as well. So let me just use this code because this is much better rather than this. Okay, this can be very beneficial. Okay, so now if I will run this code here, let me just comment this one. I am running this element operators code. So now we have named Monty, Barry, Stephen. Okay, all of those have order which is greater than 2000. Okay, and we are just taking 3. Now rather than 3, let's just remove this code. And now if I will run this, we have around 7 people who are paying more than 2000 for any of their order. Now let's say I just want the first one, then I can use this directly dot first. Okay, what it is, it is element operator. Okay, which means it will give you the first element which satisfies this particular thing. So rather than it will not result give you a list, because that is why it is showing me the error. So we need to remove this line and we need to write print and project result 5, which, because this is just a single element. So now if I will run it, you will see I have just one entry which is name Monty, total is 3500 and this. So this is the element operator. Okay, where you can have something called first. Okay, and then again you can have something called, let's say, first where as well, where you can also specify one more situation, let's say W, where you can say W. Okay, because we have a map, then again you can, if you want, you can perform any operation here. Okay, and then we can have something called element at, where you can also specify the index. Suppose I want the index of 3, the item which is on index of 3, then you can see we have this item Stephen, whose order is greater than 2000. And this is how you can use this element operator. So that is the basic idea of using all of these things. Apart from that, you can write some custom code to perform sum and minimum, max, order, or grouping, everything. So we will discuss it more in some next video, and I hope you were able to understand what I wanted you to explain. So this is how you can, if you see here, we have just written 60 lines of code and we have done almost, if you will ask me, more than 200 lines of code. If you will use for loops, again it can be huge and the code will not be good looking. So right here, because we have a lot of comments, again this is not looking good, but again this is I guess this is good enough. So let me just uncomment few of these lines which are just for results. Okay, then it will look, I guess, much better. And yeah, and then let me just okay, so this is looking much better, I guess. Yeah, so now you can see the code is looking much better. Now let's run it at once and we have all the results here. So this is what I wanted to explain you. I hope you were able to understand and I hope you will enjoy working with Dart. And this is the beauty of Dart again. So LINQ is kind of very popular thing and very useful as well, whether you are developing any Flutter application or any other web application or any something like that. So this can be very useful, and we will also cover more advanced topic in future videos. So please let me know in the comments what's your view about this video, and also you can ask if you want to ask something. If you enjoyed this video, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you're not the subscriber already, and also press the bell icon if you want to get the future updates. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care. And the source code will be available on GitHub. Please give it a star. Okay, thank you.